Okay, so I'm going to lead in at this point because you said they came to you asking you what you think of Heather's as a musical. What makes a good music? What makes a movie into a good musical? A movie that was just a movie, a good movie, a great movie.
I think um, great characters, great conflict, an arc that you feel like you could see where it was going to go, something that made it unique, memorable. Those are the things. I get offered a lot of movies to be turned into musicals, and a lot of times I'm like, I don't. I don't see it. I'm developing 13 going on 30 as a movie to turn into a musical.
All right, that's another one. My
Again,
my my daughters approve already. If they'll,
I'm mostly working for your daughter.
I
And
think so.
Your
Yeah,
pod partner, old lady that I am,
I,
approves. I love
yeah,
it.
everyone's approving. But again, great characters, great story, great conflict. That's usually where I start. On Reefer Madness, it was slightly opposite because Reefer Madness was such a bad 1930s film that the idea was there was something cult and camp like about it that made it feel like, oh, if we dive into that world and really dive in, we can have a lot of fun. So I think I'm always looking for, does it pop in my head? Heather, they literally said it, and I was like, one of my all time favorite movies. It wasn't until we met with Dan Waters and then a chance to meet with the original director Michael Lehman and the producer Denise Denovi that it then all really started to click and gel, where I felt like we were going to be on the journey with them and helping to take Heather's to the next generation.
So Dan Waters did not roll his eyes when you said we're going to turn this into a musical, because that I would imagine like that's what.
Dan, here's one of the craziest things. The very first reading we did for Dan and Company, and we were at our agency's. We're all rep by the same agent, so we were at our agency's screening room in the middle of the day to do this Act One reading, and Dan had a notebook, and I'm narrating. We're doing everything to microphone. We had a very professional set like you have, and everybody was looking and doing all their stuff. And sure enough, I see Dan just the whole time. His head is down, head is down, head is down, and he's writing. And I was like, oh, this is a disaster.
Notes.
He is, we are, this is the worst possible way for us to survive. And and afterwards we went over to him, and Kevin, Larry, and I were like, oh, this is going to be bad. And he turned around, and I was like, so you were taking a lot of notes? He goes, oh, no, I was just writing down everything I loved and thinking, you don't have to use all my original stuff. And we're like, no, we're using all of it. So from that moment on, it really was has been a partnership. And the changes we made from the movie to the musical really were things he got so excited about, because he's like, oh, see, what you're able to do that I couldn't do in the movie is once I got rid of a character, they were gone. In the musical, there's a chance to live on. So I think he and Michael and Denise quickly became fans of the next generation of it.
That's so great. That's like added value for them.
Totally.
Yeah.
More people, we sometimes think our fans, which are 13 and up, sometimes we think a lot of them haven't seen the movie yet. So a lot of it becomes after they see the musical, we're like, now go back and watch the movie. She's the Man was based on 12th Night. And we would tell people after they'd see it, they'd be like, I really love the plot. And I'm like, William Shakespeare, check him out. He's got a couple of books out, and you might like his plotting.